Going on YouTube? This is my first ever video, if I'm being honest. At least not. So technically, usually I do a podcast called the Dunces Podcast, but I'm not doing it on the Dunces. This is kind of just my brand new starting on my own thing. Reason being, I don't really have anybody else to do the podcast with, and the podcast has already become big to our inner circle that I really don't want to just take over, and I feel like I've been doing that a lot. But anyway, basically, my name is Jason, obviously. And I am here to discuss really anything that pertains to basketball. Yes, I haven't really done this a lot. The times that I have done it, always had an intro, so it's kind of throwing me off my game that I don't have one now, especially because I'm doing like an introduction to myself. And usually there would be an introduction to a channel, whatever, blah, blah, but that's not happening. I'm just going to talk about basketball. That's all I care about, to be honest. So, yeah, let's talk about it. So, the NBA is a beautiful sport. We all know it. The game of basketball itself is just a beautiful sport. We got college, we got NBA, we got other leagues. You know, the Euro League, the Chinese Basketball Association, so many of the associations, but nothing is better than the NBA for one reason and one reason alone: the storylines. The storylines behind the NBA are crazy. So as you can see, I'm a Nets fan. Got to rep my Brooklyn Nets. Even though we've been through a lot, obviously throughout the season, trading KD, trading Kyrie, but having a star in Mikal Bridges is wonderful to watch. I'm seeing like little things here and there about, oh, Damian Lillard might potentially come to the Nets. I don't buy it. I don't really see a true package that we can formulate or form, I guess, for Damian Lillard. Yeah, we have picks, but if I'm the Nets, I'd rather keep those picks. I don't know. Thing is, Mikal Bridges is also 26, so you either want to bank on him now as like a second or third option or whatever. But now it's like, what direction are the Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets and Joe Tsai, even as the owner, what direction do they want to go into? Dinwiddie has to go. I love him, but he sucks, so he has to go. Joe Harris is getting older. He's on 1 year left of his contract this upcoming season, so that's amazing. So many questions that needs to be asked, and you have to re-sign Claxton next offseason. So not this offseason, next offseason. You know, what is he going to be asking for? So a lot of questions for the Nets, but nothing bigger than what's going on in other teams, right? Like it's not even a question; it's just other really, better options, or but not better options. What's the word I'm looking for? Just better teams playing better, doing actual stuff in the playoffs. As we all know, the Milwaukee Bucks have lost to the number 8 seed Miami Heat, which is crazy to think about. Sorry, I know that I just abruptly stopped, but people walked in. Anyway, so Milwaukee, back to Milwaukee. They lose to the 8th seeded Miami Heat, who came in through the play-in tournament, the first ever NBA play-in team to win a playoff series. Crazy. As the 8th seed, nonetheless, that's insane. We've seen it before, obviously. The most recent, I believe, was the 2011 or 2012 Memphis Grizzlies, who beat the San Antonio Spurs. And then before that, obviously, the We Believe Warriors. We know about the Knicks. Made it to the finals of the Nuggets, the Dikembe Mutombo Nuggets. And then one other team, I'm blanking on it. But they won, right? So crazy, if you think about it, that they won. And especially Jimmy Butler averaging what he averaged with the team he had. It was basically the same team, except it got slightly worse if you think about it. Losing Tyler Hero, and then losing Oladipo, and then Oladipo, obviously, prayers up for him. Been through so much, right? But like the fact that Miami was still able to persevere, and in this game specifically, they were down by significant amount. I don't want to say significant, but a decent amount. Bam Adebayo fouls out. A couple of the other key guys foul out. They're playing guys with the last name Highsmith. I don't even know who the hell that is, bro. But he was out there contributing. Cody Zeller, Kevin Love out of the buyout market slash just free agents in general. These random dudes that pull up. Duncan Robinson has resurged as a 3-point shooter again. Like, oh yeah, you got paid for that. It's insane what they did. And Milwaukee, I had them winning it all. Milwaukee losing, honestly, is 1,000% on Coach Bud. And I get it. It's, you can't really control Giannis's injuries. You can't bank on Drew Holiday having a bad game every night. I want people to remember Drew Holiday, as great as a basketball player as he is, as great as of a defender he is. Jimmy Butler's taller. Jimmy Butler is bigger. Jimmy Butler is stronger, and he's just a better player than Drew Holiday. So not having Giannis guard him, and I know Giannis had his bad back, and I understand it, and I know he went through on that rant that it's not a successful season, whatever. It was an unsuccessful season. It is a lost season for the Milwaukee Bucks, the best team in the NBA, by a landslide. I would say, well, not a landslide, but I personally thought that they were the best team, that they were going to win it all. In my opinion, I really thought they were going to win it all, and they obviously aren't going to. Miami has a chance against the Knicks, who also advanced, beating Cleveland. And I don't really want to get into that one too much, to be honest. I mean, the game kind of speaks for itself. You got a team full of a bunch of players that haven't really been to the playoffs, besides Mitchell and Allen. And Allen waited what, 1 year, year and a half, I would say. No, just a year. And Mobley is still young. Darius is still young. Donovan should have been better. That's obvious, but Mobley needs to find his shots. Allen needs to be a little bit better. Um, and as for the Knicks side, crazy that they wanted Kyrie and KD. They didn't get them, and yet they're in the second round, just 4 years after these guys signed there in Brooklyn, and these guys are gone. Right? They're on a whole other, side of the country. Really, I mean, you got KD in Dallas and Kyrie and Dallas for now. I'm sorry, KD in Phoenix, Kyrie in Dallas for now. But it's insane when you think about the Knicks season, or just the last few seasons, up and down here and there. RJ Barrett up and down, Julius Randle up and down. But having Jalen Brunson as a rock, it really goes to show what a great non-trade they. Obviously they wanted Donovan, but it's great that it didn't happen. Maybe not great, but it is good at least for this season, because Brunson really is proving to be an all-star snub this season. He should be all NBA in my opinion, and he is playing at a level right now in the playoffs that emulated his last year's performance, but to a higher extent, I guess you can say, because he's doing it as the number one primary ball handler and the number one option for this New York Knicks team, who surprisingly is better on offense than on defense, having Tom Thibodeau as your coach. The only scary thing is, I will say, is that Julius Randle, he got hurt again on his ankle. So what's going to happen, in that series? Who knows with Miami? But that's going to be a fun series to watch, and I'm surprised because I really had the opposing teams, Milwaukee and Cleveland, going into the second round, but the NBA script is a way that it is. I also wanted to talk about Philly, and I want to talk about everything, to be honest, but Philly and Brooklyn, that was going to be a fast series. Not going to get into that one too much. Embiid hopefully is healthy for this next round against the Boston Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to win it, because Atlanta, nah, I don't believe in Atlanta. But who knows? You never know. Miami, I didn't believe in them. Um, so that's gonna be a fun series if Boston does advance, and that's another one. I don't really want to talk about Boston and Atlanta. Dejounte Murray got suspended, whatever. They still won. Shout out, shout out Trae Young, but yeah, I don't believe in that team at all. So I'm just gonna say Boston is gonna go to that second round, and if that happens, so let's say we have one team, one matchup set, right? The Knicks versus Miami. If Randall is back, I think I'm gonna go with the Knicks. But if Butler and the rest of the guys are shooting the way that they are, and Randall is out, I don't think it's a series. I think it's Miami in five, if I'm being honest. If Randall is back and he's somewhat healthy, just contributing a little bit, I'm surprising myself by saying this, but I give it to Miami in six. Crazy. All right. Let's move on to the other side, the Western Conference. Nuggets and the Wolves. Anthony Edwards played solid. Karl Anthony Towns sucks. Gobert sucks. A bunch of injuries, a bunch of crap going on with Minnesota. Who knows if even their what's the guy's name? The guy that they just hired last year, who made the Rudy Gobert trade. Um, what's his name? I don't know his name. But basically, who knows if he's even gonna last there as a GM or their president of basketball operations, because he's looking, elsewhere. He might be going to Washington. Who knows? That's been a rumored um, spot for him. So who knows if that happens? Um, But overall, I mean, the Nuggets, they played solid. Great, even to be honest. Jamal Murray, he's gonna get back there. If not this season, then definitely this upcoming season. I do believe he's gonna be an All Star really, really soon. And if he's not, he's gonna be borderline because he's that good, especially in the playoffs. And Michael Porter Jr. is looking solid as well. But now for that next series against Phoenix, who knows what's gonna happen? And that Phoenix and Clippers series, it just proved to us that Russell Westbrook can win you games or at least be competitive in games with crappy players around you. So imagine if Kawhi and Paul George were there with him. The whole Kawhi and Paul George thing, the experiment is just looking so weak because they haven't played. They've never been healthy together, and it's so frustrating as a basketball fan. But things happen, and they load manage so that none of this happens, and yet it still happens. And it sucks because Kawhi was playing one of the best basketball in a while. Like, we were like, oh crap, this is the Kawhi we know, and then bam, injury. So it sucks. It sucks that that's happening, but whatever. Phoenix, they advance. And you can say, I guess you can play devil's advocate here with how Phoenix kind of dismantled, or not dismantled, but like they killed the Clippers in those 4 games, I guess you can say, but not really because the games were close. And that last game, Devin Booker and Russell and I'm sorry, and Kevin Durant, I think they combined for like 80 points around there or 70 something points and barely beat the Clippers. Barely, right? So can that scare you a little bit? Their bench is pretty weak. They're swapping Okogie or Okogie, whatever, Okogie, I think. Okogie and Craig in and out of the starting lineup as that 4-man. There's a lot of question marks. Cameron Payne still hasn't come back. Chris Paul is definitely showing his age. But can they really just can they just put their foot on the gas and just be like, yeah, this is our team. We're winning it all with this team. I definitely believe that Kevin Durant is that good of a player. He can drop 30 in his sleep. So imagine when he tries, right? So, and I saw it obviously in Brooklyn. So yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be a fun series. Denver and Phoenix. Who do I have for that series? I don't know. I'm gonna. I feel like everybody's gonna pick Phoenix, and rightfully so. I mean, two of the best offensive players, just scoring wise. Um, and then a solid scoring big man in Aiton. Can he stop Jokic? No. Can anybody stop Jokic? Probably not. Besides Embiid, maybe. But and then having the ball, being distributed by your guy Chris Paul, right? So, but you have the two-time MVP on the other side. On the other side, you have a strong-ish bench, I guess you can say, in the Nuggets. At least compared to Phoenix, I would say they're somewhat on par, but I still think that Denver has the slight edge. I guess I don't know. I don't know. Especially if Campaign is still out. If Campaign is still not out, or if he does come back and he's just a shell of what he could be, then yeah, I really think Denver has this. It will be a long series. I think it's gonna be Denver in 7. Um, but you can definitely talk me into Denver or Phoenix in 7, or even Phoenix in 6. I don't know. I'm not a basketball fazant or whatever the word is. I'm not that good at it. Obviously, I'm not good at playing it, so I'm really not good at talking about it. But it's my opinion, so whatever. And then we have another playoff board picture games, whatever. Lakers and Memphis, which has been such a fun watch to an extent because of one thing and one thing only. The amount of injuries that have happened, obviously throughout the playoffs, but with this specific series, injuries that happened or look like they're going to happen or feel like they're going to happen. I feel like I haven't had this with any other series, right? Like, obviously the Giannis thing was unexpected. It sucked. The Tyler Hero thing. I know there are other teams that have had more and more impactful players, but Anthony Davis, it pisses me off the way that he plays because if you saw that play in the last game, Desmond Bain and John Moran are balling out, whatever. In that fourth quarter, LeBron dishes out to AD with a beautiful pass. AD grabs it, doesn't look at the rim, looks at the guy next to him who happens to be Desmond Bain, is like, all right, I'm not gonna take this and just dunk it because I'm the 6'10" guy. I don't want to. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna lean and see if he fouls me. So he leans, doesn't dunk it, lays it, falls on his butt. And it's like you'd rather get maybe a foul call than two easy points. Like what are you doing, bro? I get it. You're down by however I think they were down by like 20 something at that point. But you're down by 20 something at that point. For one thing, you're down. Save your legs. Darvin Ham, what are you doing keeping those guys in there? For what? Momentum, maybe? Austin Reeves falls. LeBron has like a little mini scare, a little whatever. My point is, it's such a pathetic way to play basketball sometimes whenever I watch Anthony Davis play. Malik Beasley can't hit a shot. He looks terrible. And on the other end, John Morant flying into the lane, throwing his body. He needs to sit down with Derrick Rose and just stop. Like he needs to just stop. It's not the that we don't want to see your dunks. Obviously, he's going to be able to dunk, but bro, it's like understand that you're not as durable as you might think you are. Like I get it. He's young. He's only a couple years older than I am. Like, and he's athletic as hell, bro. I've never seen a dude jump so high since Derrick Rose. Like it's insane to see what he does on the basketball court. But bro, like you got to look out for your longevity. You got to look out for what's the betterment of your team too. And at some points, it feels like your team is better without you on the court, right? So you got to really get your act together in that regard, and all the other stuff off the court. Who cares about it? It's over with now, right? So who's gonna win this series? I still have the Lakers in 6. I think the Lakers are gonna win it at home. If they don't, then it's Memphis in 7 because no way Memphis is losing in their home. Then again, I've been wrong about a lot of things, so who knows? But they are obviously gearing up to play in the next round against whoever is the winner of Golden State and Sacramento, which has by far been, at least not by far, because Miami and Milwaukee I think became that, at least second right behind them, but Sacramento and Golden State has been one of, if not the best series that we've had in a while. I feel like the Kings really flopped that game that Draymond was out. They should have won that game. Then the next game, they should have won that game as well. I mean, you're looking at a team that could have gone 4-0, right? Or at least, maybe that third game again without Draymond when the Warriors went off or whatever. Okay, fine, give them that. But losing that fourth game with Harrison Barnes, bro, you were right there. That was your shot, bro. Like you've shot that shot so many times. Maybe not in that arena per se, but just the atmosphere. You've been there, bro. Like you know it, and he missed, right? So there's that, and then the index finger with De'Aaron Fox looked like it did not bother him at all, and he was balling, but they still lost. I felt like Mike Brown should have started Malik Monk alongside De'Aaron, just to kind of like have another ball handler alongside him, so that his finger isn't too wrapped up or like too hurt by the end of the game. But overall, it was a good game, and it has been a great series. Who's gonna win it? I want to say Sacramento in 7, but I I don't see Golden State losing this next game, and I think it's going to be Golden State in 6. And if that's the case, that means that's going to be, in my opinion, a Lakers Golden State playoffs. And if that is what's coming into fruition, I'm betting on the Warriors. Well, why did I say it like that? The Warriors. I'm betting on them if they comes to that, because I mean, frankly, you got Curry, you got Clay, you got actual players that have won before. I mean, I get it. You have LeBron and AD, but these other guys haven't really done it. D'Angelo Russell he's really crap in the playoffs. I've seen it with Brooklyn. I even saw it in Minnesota because my boy's a Minnesota fan. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna be able to do it. If they're going like up against Sacramento, maybe, but even then, Sacramento's is a way better team than the Lakers have been. So who knows? Um, Overall, now who do I think is gonna win? I don't know. I think I'm gonna get there. If I keep recording videos like this, I probably won't. To be honest, it's probably gonna be the only one that I do. But if I don't, or if I do, um, I think I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. I don't really want to say a team because every time I say a team, I'm always wrong, and it's kind of becoming a little disappointing. Because as a fan. I guess I thought I had more basketball knowledge that I really don't. But it's fine. With all that being said, again, Jason, J Money, J Dollar, whatever you want to call me, it doesn't matter. I don't even know what I'm gonna name this channel. I think I'm just gonna call it J Money Rants or like J Rants or NBA Talk. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I don't even know why I did this. I could have just posted on the dunces and just call it a day, but I'm not. I'm going to, and I'm even gonna post this raw. Like, cause I'm not even gonna edit this because I don't even want to edit. I don't even know how to edit. If anybody knows how to edit, J Canada, shout out you and HCB, my Canadian 2K players. With all that being said, guys, I've been Jay. Thank you for listening. If you have, and I'll catch y'all. Peace.